All right, let's get comfortable. We're about to dive into a book that is, to put it mildly, a Molotov cocktail of gratitude and grievance. Konstantin Kisin's An Immigrant's Love Letter to the West. Forget what you think you know. This isn't a warm, fuzzy memoir about the kindness of strangers. This is a philosophical intervention. A wake-up call delivered by an adopted son who's seen the family mansion is on fire and the heirs are busy arguing about the wallpaper. Our mission? To unpack this love letter with truth, without sugarcoating, and with a healthy dose of the dark humor the subject so richly deserves. The entire book rests on a single powerful premise. You cannot truly appreciate something until you have experienced its absence. Kisin didn't just read about the Soviet Union in a book. He was born there. He experienced the gray, the fear, the lies, the sheer spiritual exhaustion of a society built on coercion and the suppression of the human spirit. His family didn't emigrate for a better job. They fled a system that was, at its core, anti-human. So when he arrived in the West, he didn't see problematic structures or oppressive patriarchy. He saw a miracle. He saw supermarkets with choice. He saw people laughing openly, criticizing their government without a glance over their shoulder. He saw a world where your life wasn't predetermined by a party apparatchik. This is his foundational lens. Imagine growing up in a desert and then being shown a lush green oasis. Your first thought isn't, the water distribution here seems a bit inequitable. Your thought is, holy hell, there's water. This is Kisin's permanent state of being. He's the one at the party who remembers the hangover while everyone else is on their third cocktail and complaining that the ice has melted. His central philosophical question is this: what happens when the children of freedom are raised without the memory of chains? His answer: they begin to forge new ones, believing them to be jewelry. Kisin's love for the West is not blind, it's clear-eyed. He loves it for what it is, not for what it isn't. And what it is, he argues, is the greatest experiment in human freedom and prosperity the world has ever seen. The pillars of this miracle are not mysterious. 1. Individual liberty, the radical idea that you, as a single human being, have inherent worth and rights that no collective can trample. 2. Free speech, not just the right to say nice things, but the brutal, messy, essential right to be wrong, to offend, to debate. This is the engine of progress. 3. The rule of law, the boring, beautiful idea that the rules apply to everyone, even the people who make them. 4. Democracy and capitalism, the imperfect but wildly successful systems for distributing power and wealth that have lifted billions from poverty. Now here's the kicker, the core of his love letter. He believes the West is suffering from a profound and dangerous case of amnesia and self-loathing. The very people who inherited this miracle, the spoiled children of history, as he might put it, are now lecturing everyone on its inherent evil. He watches with a kind of bewildered horror as students at Oxford, a pinnacle of Western intellectual achievement, demand the decolonization of knowledge. He sees this not as progress, but as a luxury belief afforded by the very stability it seeks to undermine. It's like using the stones of the fortress you're safe in to throw at the fortress walls. This is where Kisin gets most provocative and where we must be most truthful to his argument. He doesn't see wokeness or this new anti-racist social justice ideology as a well-intentioned movement that's just gone a bit too far. He sees it as the doppelganger of the Soviet Marxism he fled. Think about it. He lays out the parallels with a dark philosophical humor. Original sin. In Marxism, it's class. You are born a bourgeois oppressor or a proletarian victim. In wokeness, it's identity. You are born a white, straight, cis oppressor or a BIPOC LGBTQ victim. Your moral standing is assigned at birth. The heresy hunt. In the USSR, it was deviation from the party line. Today, it's problematic views, microaggressions, cancellation. The mechanism is identical: social and professional destruction for wrongthink. The infallible ideology. The doctrine is not up for debate. To question it is to prove your own moral corruption. There is no "let's agree to disagree," only educate yourself or be silenced. The utopian end goal. Marxism promised a stateless, classless utopia. This new ideology promises a world free of power structures and harm. Both are impossible fantasies that justify any amount of present-day coercion. He's not saying the activists are setting up gulags. He's saying the intellectual and moral framework is eerily familiar. It's the mindset of the inquisitor dressed in the language of the therapist. And for someone who grew up with the real thing, the scent is unmistakable. The greatest irony, he posits, is that the West is so free it is tolerating the growth of an ideology whose end goal is to destroy the very freedom that allows it to exist. It's a philosophical parasite, and Host is feeling unusually generous. Now, a piece of this polemic could be unbearably grim, but Kisin, a comedian, seasons his fury with a healthy dose of gallows humor. He points to the sheer, laughable absurdity of it all. He recounts being asked to sign a safe space contract before a university gig, promising not to be offensive. His response was, essentially, "You realize I'm a comedian, right? My job is to be offensive to someone's sacred cows." He highlights the insanity of privileged students in the most affluent, free societies in human history claiming to be victims of structural violence because a speaker they don't like has been invited to campus. From his perspective, having seen actual state violence, this isn't just wrong, it's a pantomime, a deeply offensive cosplay version of oppression. The humor isn't just for laughs, it's a philosophical tool. It exposes the contradiction, the sheer lack of perspective. It's the chuckle of a man watching people in a lifeboat argue about the thread count of the linen while drilling a hole in the hull to let in some diverse ocean water. So is this just a rant? A long complaint? No. That's the love letter part. This is tough love, the love a parent has for a child when they sit them down for a serious talk. Kisin's plea is not to make the West great again in some nostalgic sense. His plea is for the West to remember itself. He is begging the West to open its eyes to the miracle it lives in, to stop apologizing for its existence and to start defending its principles. To realize that free speech isn't the problem, it's the solution. That the way to deal with bad ideas is not to silence them, but to out-argue them. His message is that the West is not defined by its past sins, but by its unique capacity for self-correction. The abolition of slavery, the expansion of women's rights, the civil rights movement, these were not victories of smashing the system, but of appealing to its own highest ideals. The system worked because the system allowed itself to be challenged. The new ideology, he warns, does not allow for challenge. It is a closed loop, and a closed loop is a dead end. In the end, An Immigrant's Love Letter to the West is a profound and deeply personal philosophical warning. Kisin positions himself as the canary in the coal mine. He's breathed the bad air before. He knows what it smells like. He is not, as his critics claim, a man who wants to return to the 1950s. He is a man who wants to protect the foundational principles that allowed us to leave the 1950s behind and progress. The book's ultimate thought-provoking question is this: can a civilization that has lost the will to defend itself, that has been taught to hate its own history and doubt its own legitimacy, long survive? Kisin's love letter is his answer. It is a passionate, flawed, provocative, and essential cry from the heart, a reminder from an adopted son that the house is on fire, the treasures inside are real, and it's time to stop admiring the flames and start putting them out. The letter has been delivered. The question is, will the recipient bother to read it before the return address is burned away?